today is
The 30th
30th of
July.
2021. And what year were you born, and who were you born to, and where were you born, and what was some of your first memories that you have?
Well, I was born in Hartford City at home. And my parents was Marion and Mildred Ream. And she was a Doyle. And what else?
Well, and you were born at home.
Yeah.
Were you the second child?
I was the second child. My brother was first. He was 13 months apart.
Okay. And what was one of your first memories that you remember?
Well, I remember my first spanking that I can remember of is I throwed my brand new patent leather shoes in the coal bucket because the coal was black and so was my shoes. So I threw them in the coal bucket. And Mother came and dumped the coal into the stove, and there went my shoes. She looked down and she picked me up and paddled my butt for doing that. And I didn't see that anything I did was wrong because they was black like the coal.
That's right.
Sure. And so I excused myself. And for what reason, I didn't know, because I was only 3. So that's one of my first memories. And then another was when I was 6 years old. Or was I 6? I don't remember for sure that I was 6. I think I was maybe 4. My aunt and uncle lost a little baby girl. And during those days, you could take the casket and the baby home. And we had a big dinner that day, I remember. And to make enough sitting places, they put slat boards across the chairs. And I happened to get the slat to sit on. And it's just long boards. And it made a big dinner table that way. And then I wanted to see that baby so bad, and I kept moving the chair, and I wasn't old enough to move the chair. I probably was about 3 or 4. And Daddy said, "Do you want to see the baby?" And I said, "Yes." And he held me up to see that baby. And I can still visually see that baby in my mind.
Aww.
Yeah, it was so pretty.
Was it a girl? Or
It was a girl, and it had a white bonnet on. And it was just laying there like it was asleep. And I thought it was asleep. I never knew what death was.
Yeah.
But I knew it was a sad time for everybody because everybody was very sad during that day. But I remember we had a large dinner because I liked food. Even when I was little, I loved food. And it loves me. So, yeah, that's 2 memories that I can think of.
So what did you guys do for Christmas or holidays?
Christmas was during the what was it? Recession.
Depression.
Yeah, the
Oh.
Depression years. Yeah. Oh, I can remember that. I was about 5, and I never knew what poor was, but it seemed like every time we come to the table, we had the same thing: mush for breakfast. And I won't eat mush today because it is awful. It had no flavor to it. And but I got by. At least I didn't get skinny. And then we had beans with pork cooked in it, and that was a lot. And then that was out on the farm. Daddy got to be a farmer, and his father-in-law, Joe Doyle, gave him a start by giving him a set of horses that he couldn't use anymore because he had outgrown the horses. He retired. And so then the horses came from over on Grandpa's farm, and Mother always sent us outside to play at Grandma and Grandpa's. We never got to stay in the house for very long at a time. And Grandpa would let us bounce around in his trailer. He would bounce and run from one end to the other to make it bounce. And he never told us we couldn't do that. And the horses was Clydesdales. And Mary and Earl always got around the back end of the horse and just loved on the horse's legs. And that horse just loved for him to be there. And he always knew when Sonny came that that's where he would be. And then when Daddy got the horses,